the footprints you are living for world to know you. With this thought in mind, I want to wish you all a warm good morning. Hello. Some problem is arise that ma'am message that hello. Am I audible, ma'am? Hello.
It is clear, Apurba.
No, I am asking ma'am. Hello, ma'am. May I audible? Hello. Okay. With this thought in mind, I want to wish you a warm good morning. Welcome to this 3 days National Mathematical Webinar organized by Tripura Mathematical Association on the occasion of National Mathematics Day celebration. Today is the day one of the webinar. TMA is created on 30th June 2019 with the aim to encourage the young minds towards the field of mathematics. As we all know that mathematics is most beautiful and most powerful creation of human spirit. Now I would like to invite Samrat Dev to address the gathering.
Wherever there is a number, there is beauty. By Proclus. Mathematics is everywhere. It is in the objects we create, in the work of art we admire. Although we may not notice it, mathematics is also present in nature that surrounds in its landscapes a species of plants and animals, including human species. From structure of building to the discovery of new planets, from trade to fashion and new technologies, mathematics has always served as an important tool in the advancement of science and technology in the fields as diverse as engineering, philosophy, and arts. And it is also present in nature, concealing and revealing its charms in various forms, intriguing researchers and inspiring poets. An equation means nothing to me unless and until it expresses a thought of God by Srinivasa Ramanujan. A very elegant morning to everyone. I am Samrat Dev and today I have got the opportunity to welcome you all to the 3 days National Mathematics webinar organized by Tripura Mathematical Association on the auspicious occasion of National Mathematics Day. In these 3 days, we will meet many mathematical dignitaries who will provide us knowledge on different aspects of mathematics. Today, I welcome Dr. Bhebi Bhattacharya, Associate Professor, Head of Department of Mathematics, National Institute of Technology, Agartala. Mr. Raki Uday Kumar, PGT Mathematics, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Panisagar, and all the core members of Tripura Mathematical Association, along with all the participants who have participated in this webinar from different parts of India. I hope that you all will like this webinar and will be able to gather some knowledge which you will be able to apply in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Samrat Dev. Thank you. Now moving to the main content of the webinar. We will now have to we will now have the invited talk by Dr. Baby Bhattacharya from National Institute of Technology, Agartala. Dr. Baby Bhattacharya ma'am is an associate professor and head of the Department of Mathematics, National Institute of Technology, Agartala. Dr. Baby Bhattacharya ma'am has specialization in topology, bitopology, fuzzy topology, numerical analysis, real analysis, and functional analysis. Ma'am, we are happy to have you today with us. The title of today's talk is a talk on real number and its application. Welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar. Over to you, ma'am. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, Apurva, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Should I start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Apurva, give me 2 minutes to prepare myself for presenting the slides.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. No problem. You can.
Hello, is the PDF visible? Apurva,
Yes, ma'am.
is the PDF visible?
Yes, ma'am.
I
Okay,
didn't get.
thank you. Hello, Apurva, should I start?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So, a very good morning to all of you. It's my pleasure that you have given me this chance to share my knowledge, experience in this field of real number system and its application. I was supposed to present my views in front of the students of class 9 to 12, but I'm fortunate enough that all my students are there, starting from BTech, BSNS, MSc, from everywhere of NIT Agartala. So I welcome each one of you in this presentation including my family members of NIT Agartala and all other students, those who are participating in this webinar. It's a great initiative. I must appreciate all the members of Tripura Mathematical Association to take the pain to conduct such event in the 133 birthday of Srinivas Ramanujan and a whole week program. Uh, though the title of my talk given by the committee members, it was the real number and its application, but I made a bit change in this title. The title of my talk is the real number system and its application. How many of the members are there, those who are not comfortable with English? Is there any school going students who is not comfortable with English?
Yes, ma'am.
From Bengali medium?
Hindi.
Hindi, okay. No issues, okay. So, may I know how many students are there from school level? स्कूल के बच्चे कितने हैं यहाँ पर?
What, ma'am?
How many students are there from school level? I think less number of students. Okay. So here all the members are of fond of mathematics. That is why they have joined this meeting. And mathematics is nothing but the communication for physical problems or real problems, where for this communication mathematics is treated as language and logic is the grammar of that language. Nowadays students are interested for solving Rubik's cube or other puzzles for their brain gym, but in our times we used to play with either matchsticks or the tamarind seeds. Then also we applied the same thing to find the solution or to find to solve the puzzles whenever it is given to us in our time also. The thing is that everything is depending on the numbers, and the study of number, it is starting from the set of natural numbers. As we consider all these numbers are positive whole numbers, and we extend this set by considering set of integers including the negative integers. Then also our problem is not going to be solved. If it is required to find the solution of an equation 3x plus 2 equals to 0 or 3x minus 2 equals to 0, then we have to go for rational numbers, or sometimes it is beyond that, and there we have searched for irrational numbers also. Now collectively we have the set of natural numbers. Sorry, we have collectively the set of real numbers. But then also our study is not completed, because we have to find the solution of an equation x square plus 1 equals to 0. There we are getting the solution not in the form of real numbers, it is appearing in the form of complex numbers. So the number system, as we know, it is up to the level of complex numbers. Today's talk is based on the real number system and its application. It's a vast area. If we start with set of reals, then we have the real line, and we have the analysis for this real number system. So let us start from the very beginning, that the real number system in terms of a set. If we ask a school going student what do you mean by a set, they may be able to answer this question in terms of say set of 6 glasses, set of chalks in a box of 30 numbers chalk, something like this. So in an analytical manner or in a formal manner, if you ask what do you mean by a set, then our students, means the undergraduate or the PG level students, they will be able to reply this question in a specific manner. Yes, it said it is a well-defined collection of distinct objects. For example, if I ask how many participants are there, if this meeting is a number of all the members is a set here, then there is the answer yes, 47 or 52 number of members are there in this meeting. So we can define here it is a set. Is the voice clear now?
Yes,
Clear,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, if I ask how many of the participants here are good in mathematics, would it be a set or what will be the number here? How many of the participants in this
Not
meeting?
well defined.
It is not well defined, means good in mathematics, it is not well defined, so it is not a set. But you can classify this set in another approach, which one is termed as fuzzy set. That you will be able in your higher studies to know what do you mean by a fuzzy set. So that is there in advanced mathematics. Those who are interested, they can go for that one. Now, defining the set, you can go for what is the subset of this given set and what is a proper subset of that one. You can go for a finite set and infinite set of that given set. And if you are considering the given set as the universal one, then you can find the complement of any subset of that universal set. You can go for the null set and power set. If I ask any of my student, what do you mean by a null set and what is the notation for that one? I hope that Apurva will be giving the answer for this question. What do you mean by null set and what is the notation for the same?
Null set is an empty set, ma'am.
Yes, and what is
It
the
is
notation?
denoted by
Ma'am, it's denoted by
5,
five.
ma'am. 5.
Five.
It is denoted by 5 or sometimes it is
Null set
denoted
is the
on
empty set. There is no element in their set.
in that set, and sometimes it is denoted by only the second bracket also. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for this set and subset, some operations are there. Those are known as union and intersection. And there is a relation for both the operations, union and intersection, which one is known as De Morgan's law. If you perform A union B and if you go for the complement of the same, you'll be able to find that it is the intersection of complement of the both, that is A complement intersection B complement. So it is clear to all the students of UG and PG level, but I have some doubt that how much clear this idea to the school going students. Is anyone here from any school of 11, level 11 of class 11? Hello, any student from 11th standard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. What is your good name? Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
your good name, please.
Tanisha Ratnat.
Tanisha Datta. Tanisha, can you perform the union of two sets and intersection of two sets if it is given? A and B are
Yes.
given.
Yes, ma'am.
How? How? What do you mean by union of two sets?
Mm,
Tanisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Union of two sets. What do you mean by that one?
A is equal to B, then
No, A union B means you have to consider all the elements of A as well as from B. If you are having the common elements, then you have to consider the common elements also. That is, A union B means collection of all the elements from A as well as B. And that of intersection, it means the common points from
Common
A
entry.
and B. Yeah. So the difference of
Whole
two
set
sets also.
also.
Yes. So we can find the difference of two sets also as A minus B. A minus B is that collection of elements where you are considering all the elements of A, but those are not included in B. Then we can find the difference, symmetric difference of two sets by denoting A delta B, which one is the union of difference of A and B, that is A minus B union B minus A. And finally, we have the relation between union and intersection in terms of De Morgan's law. So that is there in the study. Then we move forward for relations in between sets. And first we consider Cartesian product of two non-empty sets.
Voice is lagging, sir.
Hello.
Voice is not clear, man.
Okay,
Ma'am,
so
your
here,
voice is not clear.
here we
Hello.
are consider. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am.
Voice is not
Audible.
Audible.
Okay, okay. So let me proceed. If we consider Cartesian product of two non-empty sets, say A and B, that one is nothing but the order pair where we are considering the first part from the first set and the second part from the second set, and it is appearing in the form of order pair. For example, here we have considered the set as the vowels and B two numbers only 1 and 2. So their Cartesian product A cross B is given all the order pairs. First element is from A, second element is from B. Now, what do you mean by a relation between two sets A and B? It is nothing but a relation between the two sets A and B. It is a subset of the Cartesian product of A cross B. And that relation may be a reflexive relation, symmetric relation, and a transitive relation. Reflexive relation means where you have to have all the order pairs of the form AA, where small a belongs to capital A. And symmetric relation is giving you the idea once if you have an element of the form AB belongs to the relation R, then you have to have BA also included in that relation. That is known as the symmetric relation. One suitable example is here. You can verify this one where this relation is a symmetric one. Remaining part is transitive relation. Any relation R, if you consider on a non-empty set A, that would be one transitive relation if and only for the element xy and yz belongs to R, will be implying that xz is also belonging that relation for every element xyz belongs to that given set A. You consider the relation R on the set A 1, 2, 3, and if you are considering the elements 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 1, 3, you'll be able to prove that yes, it is a transitive relation. So, if we have one relation, which one is satisfying the reflexive property, symmetric property, as well as the transitive property also, then that relation is becoming an equivalence relation. Here, one example is there. A is the set containing three elements only, 1, 2, 3, and we perform the Cartesian product A with A across A, and simply we consider the relation R is of 5 elements 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. One may verify that yes, this relation is an equivalence relation. And from that one, we move forward for function. The school going students, they are also familiar with this idea, function. Can anybody say what do you mean, simply mean by a function defined on a non-empty set? Can anybody answer my question?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by a function defined on non-empty sets? Is it included in your syllabus? You are in which class presently? Am I audible to all of you? Yes? What is your idea about a function?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes? Hello? Anyone?
Ma'am, function is like a mapping from a set to another set between two
which
non-empty set
satisfies
functions to
under
satisfy
certain
the.
conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
What are those conditions? What are those conditions? Certain conditions are there. So with different function, it is a process or a relation that associate each element of X of the non-empty set X, which is called the domain of the function, to a single element. We emphasize to a single element Y of another set capital Y. It may be the same set and it is called the codomain of the set, and that one is denoted by small f from x to y, and simply we denote this one y is equals to fx. F is called a real valued function whenever you are considering y equals to fx, that one is a real number. So you see we have started the idea of set with the help of real numbers. Now we are defining a function y equals to fx where fx is a real number. Uh, Examples are also included here if we consider non-empty sets x and y in terms of the points a, b, c, and the function is defined as f of a is equals to b, f of b is equals to c, and f of c equals to a, then it is a function. And if we consider x as abc and y as 1, 2, and we define the function f a is equals to 1, f b is equals to 2, and f c is equals to 1, then also f is a function. Now, from this diagram, you can find out which diagram is giving you the definition, satisfying the definition of function, and which one not. From the first one, you see each of the element from the domain, it is associated to the distinct element with the codomain. So it is a function. But the second one element is left, which one is not associated. That is why it is not a function. Third case is also it is function in the form of many one function, but in the fourth case you see the first element is having two images, so that is why it is not a function. So you can verify yourself whether the given relation it is giving a function or not. Different types of functions are there. To name them, we have one function. Yes,
Your PDF is not visible, ma'am.
PDF is not.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. Slide number 12. Hello. Now, is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So I was telling about the different kind of functions. First one is one function, which one is also known as injective function. If we have f of x equals to f of y, always gives that x equals to y. One example is there fx equals to 2x plus 3. It is an injective function. Also, we have onto function, which one is known as surjective function. A function is surjective if for every element y in y, there is at least one element in x such that f of x equals to y. Then that one is an onto function. One example is there. Since I am given only 35 minutes, so I am not going to explain. But if you see this diagram, that it will be very clear. The first example, it is giving you an injective but non-surjective function, as because you see the function, it is 1 goes to t, 2 goes to b, 3 goes to a, but c is not used. So injective but non-surjective. So the function is not a bijection one. When a function is 1 and on 2, then function is known as a bijection. The second function you see, it is injective and surjective, and as a whole it is a bijection. Third case, you see the function is a surjective one, non-injective and surjective function. So as a whole, it is not a bijective function. And finally, we do have a function which one is non-injective as well as non-surjective, and ultimately it is not a bijective function. Uh, Other examples also you can consider to make clear yourself or to understand yourself. Now, what are those one, two, or bijective functions are there? Finally, we have operations, and we'll go for binary operation on set. The binary operation, normally we denote this one by dot or by star. And if we are defining this one on a non-empty set A, are the functions from the Cartesian product of A cross A to A, and it is an operation of two elements of the set whose domain and codomain are in the same set. If we are considering two elements from the non-empty set A, and if we perform the binary operation say star, then the resultant one, that one is again is belonging to A. That is, we can say that this operation is giving us a closure property on the non-empty set A. Example is there that we are considering the set of real numbers and the Cartesian product, the relation is on that one R cross R, which gives the resultant one to R, and we are considering this binary operation by star, that is x star y is equals to 2x plus y for all x y belongs to R, and this one is a binary relation because the resultant one 2x plus y is again belonging to R. So we have the idea of binary operation. Finally, we'll go for axioms of real numbers. Here also we are considering some properties of real numbers which are useful in the algebraic structures. Now, if anybody asks me, what does it mean, algebraic structure? Algebraic structure is nothing but a non-empty set which one is equal with one operation, or rather we should say here it is a binary operation. So some properties are there. First we consider associativity. It is depending on three elements. If we consider the operation addition, simple addition here, that would give us a plus b plus c is equals to a plus b, b plus c. If you consider the ordinary multiplication, then there will be the a cross b cross c is equals to a cross b cross c. Second one is commutativity. That is, for addition, a plus b is giving you b plus a. Or for multiplication, it would be a cross b is equals to b cross a. You can go for distribution also. That is distributive law for two operations. A plus b is addition is distributed over multiplication. That is, a plus b cross c is giving you a cross c plus b cross c. Moreover, A cross B plus C is equals to A cross B plus A cross C. So distribution is there. And finally, we consider existence of identity and inverse element. To elaborate this one, identity and existence of inverse element to make able to realize this one, to understand this conception. If I ask the school going students, they must follow me if I consider the set of integers, and if we consider the operation, the binary operation as addition, and there will be able to find the identity element as 0 whenever we are considering the binary operation as usual addition, the set of integers. If we consider the set of naturals and consider the binary operation as normal multiplication, ordinary multiplication, then there will be able to find the identity element as 1. For inverse, existence of inverse, if we consider addition on the set of integers, there will be able to show that 0 is the identity element, and for inverse will be able, for any element a, minus a is giving the inverse element with respect to the usual addition. And in respect of multiplication, for a, 1 by a, where a is not equals to 0, if we are considering only the set of naturals, then 1 by a will give the inverse, multiplicative inverse on that system. So we can find the identity element as well as the additive inverse or the multiplicative inverse in any system where it is existing. So that is there in the real number system also. Now, some axioms for real number system you can consider. If you do have two numbers, then they are related either a is strictly greater than b, or a is equals to b, or a is strictly less than b. Out of these three, one relation must satisfy for two elements a, b of real numbers. If you do have three elements, a, b, c belongs to R, and a greater than b, b greater than c, that one is certainly implies that a is strictly greater than c. Suppose you have a is strictly greater than b. Three elements are there, a, b, c belongs to R. Then you have a plus c is strictly greater than b plus c for any c belongs to R. Finally, for ABC belongs to R, if A greater than B and C is strictly greater than 0, then you have AC is also strictly greater than BC. So these are the order axioms which are defined on real number system. Now, one may raise the question, why this real number system is that much important, and what is the application of this real number system or the set of real numbers or the line of real numbers. See, if we consider the set of real number, one can show that the set of real number is not countable. Even if we consider the unit interval from that real number system, that is closed interval 0, 1, then also that subset is also not countable. That is, the real number is so much vast, and depending on this one, we can extend the knowledge of analysis, calculus for any dimensional case. My submission is to make you understand that if we depend on physical problems and if we have to find the solution, then it converges to find the solution of an equation. It may be an algebraic equation, or it may be a differential equation or a partial differential equation. You have to find the solution, and differential equations are depending on functions. Functions may be real valued functions or other functions, say multi-valued function, etc. But if we depend on real valued function or the real number system, then we can formulate any physical problem, any real problem, and the word real numbers, it is as appropriate as it is, the real numbers. It is all about the real problems, real world, and real scenario. So we can apply this real number system for any physical problem or any real problem. It is also applicable to number theory, and it is also applicable to linear algebra, and it plays in the study of manifold also. How the real number system is playing the pivotal role in manifold. Manifold means whenever we are considering a system which one is of n dimensional. Why the case of n dimensional is required here? If a student of class 9 from a school asks me why a physical problem is depending on n dimensional case, then the answer will be, if one problem is depending on more than one parameter or two parameters or three parameters, it is giving that yes, it is a problem which one is depending on three-dimensional case. And to find the solution of three-dimensional case of a physical problem, we are wholly depending on the system of real number. We have to find the rate of change by using differentiability. We have to find the latest application of technology, which is our dream. But that one is completely depending on the system of real number, and it is depending by one relation, one mapping, which one is known as homeomorphism. Homeomorphism is nothing but a function which one is continuous, its inverse is continuous, together with it is a bijection. If we can have a homeomorphism in between the real number system to any other system, then we can apply the properties of real number system to that system also. And that is why this real number system is so important. Also, we can apply this one in terms of a general case. See, whenever we are considering a subset of the real number system, say one open interval we are considering from 0 to 8, and another open interval is there, you can perform here, these open intervals are open set. You can perform here the operations as union and intersection. Certain properties are there. Open sets are closed with respect to arbitrary union, and open sets are closed with respect to finite intersection. Now, if anybody raised the question, this kind of open sets, if it is applicable in real number system, whether it is applicable to physical problem or any discrete manner, the answer will be yes. And that is why the system of real number is that much important. So, as a conclusion, we can say that yes, all the physical problems, all the real problems are based on this real number system, and that is why this is very important to know each and every aspect of this system. So I'm having this much for this 2 days lecture. If you have any question, any doubt, you can raise the same. Otherwise, I wish you a very happy mathematics week, which one is celebrated all over the country. And also we have from our Department of Mathematics and NIT Agartala, we have celebrated the same in the 22nd of December 2020. Now it is over to you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what is the application of complex numbers?
The application of complex number is that whenever you have the system which one is depending on a function which is based on two variables. Say z is a function of f of xy. See, x and y both are real. But whenever we are considering the plane and we are considering the complex number or the variable z is equals to x plus iy, x and both are real. Whenever you are depending on two-dimensional case, then you can apply here the complex number system, and you can apply the analysis calculus of complex number system.
Thank you.
Am I clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Prashanjit? Prashanjit Chakraborty, do you hear me? Some references are there. Those who are interested, they can go through this list of references. Thank you. Apurvo, I think I'm done.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hello. The people who are joined, I want to request the people who have joined the meet, hold the session. I have sent one link of feedback form about this webinar in the message section of Google Meet. Please, all are requested to fill this form. Otherwise, you will not able to get your certificate. So I request you to fill the feedback form now. Let us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving very much wonderful presentation about the real number. That we get to know so many things about this real number, and we are very thankful to you that you have joined with us and give the lecture on this, and we came to know so many things. Thank you, ma'am, once again for accepting our invite and joining with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Apurvo. And thank you all.
Yes. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Uday, sir. I request everyone to fill the feedback form. Hello. I request everyone to fill the feedback form. We have sent the feedback form in the message section. After filling the feedback form, you tell confirm, and after that you can leave. Please confirm that you have filled the feedback form.
List of
Hello, Uday sir. Hello. 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 Uday sir, am I audible?
Yes, Apurva. Yes, Apurva, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Form filling completed, well.
Let me tell you about that. Tomorrow we also have an webinar presentation on the set theory, and this I will give the link in the WhatsApp group that you have joined. So tomorrow sharp 11 a.m. there will be a webinar of day 2 webinar from Dr. Jayashree Chakraborty, Assistant Professor, National Institute of Technology, Agartala. So I request and I invite all of you to join tomorrow's webinar. I request all of you to join tomorrow's webinar at 10:40 by 10:40 as you join today. Then tomorrow also you have to join by 10:40 a.m. in the morning. Have all the people submitted the form? Hello?